Star Trek is an American science fiction media franchise originating from the 1960s television series Star Trek, created by Gene Roddenberry. Star Trek has been a cult phenomenon for decades and in many ways influenced the popular Star Wars film. The franchise spanned many spin-offs including movies, games, novels, toys, and comics. The USS Enterprise NCC-1701 is a starship in the Star Trek media franchise. Initially a vision of the potential for human spaceflight, the Enterprise became a popular cultural icon and has repeatedly been identified as one of the best designed and most influential science fiction spacecraft. When it comes to scaling, it was difficult to understand how big the Enterprise was without any references. On the TV series, the ship was typically in space, so there isn't any object to compare it to. For this example, I'll be using the starship SN9, which is about 50 meters in height. Next to the USS Enterprise, it's actually quite small in comparison. The 1701 is about 288 meters or 947 feet in length and about 88 meters or 289 feet in height. When comparing the 1701 to the Enterprise 1701D, the 1701D is much larger in size. It measures around 642 meters or 2,106 feet in length and about 137 meters or 450 feet in height. Next to the 1701D is the variant JJ Verse Enterprise 1701, which is slightly larger than the 1701D. As we take a closer look at the Enterprise and its core design components, a saucer-shaped primary hull and two opposite engine nacelles on the cylindrical secondary hull. The engine on the back were two propulsion units, or warp drive. These propulsion system allows the starship and other starcraft to travel through the universe. The sensor probe was used to refer to any devices that was used to scan, record, or observe any aspect of the environment surrounding a starship, spaceship, or person. The navigational deflector, also known as the main deflector, was used to divert asteroids, microscopic particles, and other objects that might have collided with the ship. The U.S. Enterprise used a duotonic sensor array for collecting and processing electromagnetic or acoustic signal. The Boussard's collector was a device usually attached to the forward end of the warp nacelles. It was used to refuel the vessel by accumulating interstellar hydrogen atoms. The starship has the ability to separate during an emergency or tactical maneuver performed by some of the Federation starship, involving the complete disconnection of the primary and secondary hull. On Starfleet vessel, the bridge was usually located on Deck 1, on top of the vessel. The bridge was the nerve center of every starship, and it was manned by the top officer of each department except for engineering and medical. There was typically an engineering station that the chief engineer could use when on bridge, as well as a science station that the science officer or chief medical officer could use. Near the main bridge was a science laboratory, an area set up for main work in experimental or observation science. Near the center of the vessel was the computer core, which housed the primary processing equipment. The computer room was based around the system of redundant computer core that processed data of all the ship's system. Every single system, from life support to weapons and shielding, depends on the computer core. The crew's quarter can be found throughout the vessel, varying in size and detail, but the officers' quarters were generally closer to the bridge. Right next to the sensor dome are the perishable cargo, torpedo magazine, and forward phaser. The phaser is the direct energy weapon of choice for the Starfleet and the Federation of Planets. As we head closer to the front, we can find the sick bay and the recreational deck. In front of the ship was the auxiliary deflector. A deflector beam was used to push debris out of the way. The main engineering room primary purpose was to be the center point for control of our engineering system aboard the starship, especially those related to propulsion and power generation. Located at the bottom of the ships are the antimatter storage pod. The pod was used to magnetize self-contained storage unit which was used to fuel the starship. Next to the pods are the tractor beam or stabilizing beam. The beam was used by the Enterprise to control movement of external objects. At the back of the ship is the Shuttlebay or the hangar deck and the shuttlecraft maintenance room. The Shuttlebay served several important purposes. Its primary function was to provide a launch pad and a landing area for the Starfleet shuttlecraft, including the Enterprise 2 shuttle. The Shuttlebay also acted as a storage and maintenance facility where the shuttlecraft could repair, refuel, and fit it. At the top of the vessel are the warp coil and the plasma injection system. This warp coil conducts massive level of plasma from the ship's antimatter reactor, which makes warp drive possible. The vessel can hold approximately 431 officers and crew and has a warp speed of 10, or 6,395 times the speed of light.